Howdy out there, folks. Today we're going to take a quick look at this classic 1985 film, Gotcha, with Anthony Edwards and Linda Fiorentino. This is a fabulous piece of 80s nostalgia. It's basically, the premise is Anthony Edwards is a UCLA veterinary medicine student who goes to Europe for spring break and has one hell of an adventure. And initially, it's just sort of a sex romp where he's just trying to hook up with his best friend who joins him over there. And then it becomes a spy thriller along the way. So the first 20 minutes or so is definitely very light and fluffy, and then it kind of gets into the meat of the story and is surprisingly entertaining and thrilling. The title of the film, Gotcha, is basically this paintball game that these students are playing on the campus of UCLA, and apparently they have game cards that have gotcha on them with their name and so forth. And these players just go around campus wielding paintball guns, trying to shoot one another and to keep from being shot. And obviously that has not aged well. There's no way in hell you could do that today. But that was a different time, and no one even thought that that would be something that would be done. Although the Texas Bell Tower shootings did take place about 8 or 9 years earlier. So in some ways, perhaps this was still a little bit of a stretch to consider that you could actually do that. But apart from that, like I said, the film, it basically goes from you could definitely tell the director's pedigree was previously he had directed Revenge of the Nerds, and like I said, the first 20 minutes is definitely just about a college kid just trying to hook up. And when he goes to Europe with his best friend, to Paris in fact, he's just basically just trying to get laid. And then it starts to get a little bit strange. He does in fact meet a very mysterious and lovely to look at woman who claims to be a student over in UC Berkeley's film school, but has a Czechoslovakian accent and last name. And you later learn that she is a courier, though she doesn't know what she's couriering. She just does it for money, so that as she says, she can pay for her school. And basically she whisks Anthony Edwards along for the ride. This movie obviously is very sort of in many ways shop worn. There's nothing revelatory about the plot, but I would say they do a good job with it. I think in many ways the plot in this film is better than Target. I find that this film, just generally speaking, flows better. It's more interesting. It doesn't have the benefit of Gene Hackman starring in it, which of course makes Target very watchable. But I think Anthony Edwards does a great job in his part, as does Linda Fiorentino. So definitely a movie that I remember being on HBO in heavy rotation back in the 80s. I remember watching it several times, and when I recently picked up Target, I had to pick this one up because I think they're definitely in the same orbit and equally entertaining, although probably I'd give the nod to Gotcha as far as just being a little bit more fun. It also features two, not one, but two songs from Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I think they're only two hits, but any film that has a Frankie Goes to Hollywood song is automatically going to go up a notch in quality. But in any case, the Blu-ray itself, there's nothing revelatory. Kino Lorber doesn't have inside artwork. Their discs are pretty standard looking. This does have a couple of audio commentaries, and then an original theatrical trailer. I did listen to the audio commentary by the director, Jeff Kino, and I think on balance it's interesting. He definitely tells some funny tales of the production and some of the actors. I definitely think it's an enjoyable listen, and like I said, the film overall is very entertaining and certainly a nice little time capsule of 80s Cold War spy nostalgia. And I think it's also very interesting that it, again, just as Target did, provides a look at what Berlin was like pre Soviet Union collapse. And you've got basically West Berlin, which is part of West Germany, and then East Berlin, which of course is part of the East Germany that was part of the Soviet Union. And I found it always fascinating. I remember, you know, when I was taking German in high school and I learned about this, that you had West Germans who were part of West Germany. They had to drive or take a train through East Germany to get to basically the rest of their country. So they lived in this little island basically in the middle of you know, East Germany, which was Soviet controlled. So very stressful for those having to go through Checkpoint Charlie and other checkpoints just to get back home. So in any case, I would just say this is definitely a good pickup. I picked this up for $5 used. It was a great find. I was thrilled to have it on my shelf, and I would just say that if you're a fan of the film or you want to go back and watch something very evocative of that era, this is the one to get, probably above Target, even though I enjoy both films for different reasons. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. Stay safe, be kind, and by all means, keep watching good cinema.